Martin shave test. This is a Moughton siltstone, also known as a Moughton razor hone. This is quite an interesting, very, very, very old stone. I'm going to do a little test with it. First of all, I'll show you when it's wet. You can see there's bright lines of hematite going through it. It's from the Silurian period, so it's bloody old. No one's quite certain how it was chemically formed, but one would assume that the iron oxide somehow got into the silts and then became stone. Anyway, I've already worked up, I've previously worked up a slurry, this little diamond plate. It's a nice light grey slurry, and these two razors I've already worked on. So this is a Gotter, which is a really beautiful razor, but slightly tragic. It's a 6/8, which I found had cell rot, light cell rot. So it started to rust, it's lost its beautiful gold panel, and now it has been restored, hopefully. For how long? Who knows? You can't cure cell rot. The celluloid, same as this little beauty, this is a 4/8 Edico, and unfortunately this one didn't shave very well the other day when it was tested. Not very pleased with this. Both of them had 20k edges. This has now been reduced, so to speak, to this siltstone edge, and hopefully now that it's grippy nail time, I'm going to give it one last pass just to show you guys, because I was not very happy with that Edico. I don't know why. German steel normally is extremely reliable. So let's put just a little bit more slurry. Nice grey slurry. Thus. And we'll try to just hone this one. The other one's fine, by the way. This is the little 4/8 Edico. Not very happy. So let's give it a quick run on the stone, and we'll see what happens. It has to pass the nail test. If it doesn't, it's no good. I'm not saying you can always tell just on one test, you can't, but let's have a try. Yeah, it's grippy, but not as grippy as I'd like. The other one, which is the far superior razor, the Gotter, that would grip on a nail like there's no tomorrow. But anyway, sorry I'm not doing this very well. I've also got other people on the top of the screen here, which are trying to keep in contact, God knows why. Anyway, let's try one more time. Nearly. Let's give it a little bit more. I honestly think sometimes, as this had been a corroded blade, I saved it, I buffed it, I ground it. Unfortunately, I think possibly in the aging process, I don't really know, but possibly in the aging process when something rusts, the hydrogen ions are released in the steel matrix. I don't know. I think that you're on a bit of a sad beating to nothing if a razor has had any more than light rust. Anyway, that's my contention. Let's try. No, not that good. I won't keep you much longer, guys. This is getting boring for all of us. The other one, the Gotter, beautiful. Grips, grips, grips. Shows the quality of the steel. It's potentially, perhaps something went wrong with this little Edico, the little 4/8, in its tempering. But as far as I'm concerned, it's inferior steel. So it's probably a hiding to nothing. But I'll stop whittering on in a second. But the question is, as we've got two razors now on identical edges, they were 20k, both were identical, long time back. Now, they had to be cleaned and buffed to get rid of the rust. And now they're on a Moughton, North York's edge. I think it's the steel. I honestly think this Edico is inferior steel. I've given the same number of strokes on the Gotter, and the Gotter almost instantly was gripping my nail like you wouldn't believe. So there's something radically wrong with this steel. It's gripping, but not very well. Anyway, that's just my little test. We all have our little tests. But I would say I've never been let down by the nail test. The nail test is pretty good. If it's gripping properly on the nail, you know you've got a pretty good edge. If it's slipping and sliding, anyway, enough out of me. I think we're going to have to call that it. So let's wash the slurry off. Slurryless. Is there such a word? Slurry-less? Don't know. Anyway, I'm getting fed up with this. These should have been good razors. The Gotter is a first-rate, beautiful gold panel on it, the whole lot. But unfortunately, the gases trapped inside the celluloid, or perhaps chemically they degrade, I don't know. Basically, nitrous oxide gases, sulfuric acid gases, released from the scales. Oh my lovely, what a shame. Released from the scales will completely destroy a razor collection in no time at all. Now, they weren't in their cases, but they were in a display case. A plastic display case, a large open air one. And it still wasn't enough, so not great. I'll see if I can bring it up to a slightly better edge later. I'm not going to bore you too much now. Anyway, getting back to celluloid. How much I hate celluloid. Trouble with celluloid is it's one of the main constituents of high explosive. So of course the early film stocks used in America and in Europe would often explode and catch fire. If you dropped a can of early celluloid film, you were lucky if it didn't blow your pants off. So your early films are actually quite a treasure. Likewise your early razors, because celluloid, unfortunately the early celluloid, no, poisonous crap. Nevertheless, I'm sure I've got celluloid scales on razors which won't. Perhaps they've been tweaked by the chemical industry. Perhaps they'll be all right. I hope so. Anyway. No, I don't like it. I'm going to stop now because you'll get bored. Right, so we have a Gotter razor, which is very nice. This is on a proper Moughton edge. You got this little poisonous brute, which hopefully is on a proper edge, but I'm not going to swear to it. So if worst comes to the worst, I'm going to shave with both after stropping them. We'll see how the stropping comes out. If they strop well, then I'll shave with them both. If not, this is going to go on a pasted strop with a Thiers Isar white paste, and I shall lather the crap out of it. Hopefully this one will perk up and be good, because it's a pretty little razor. It's only a 4/8, but anyway, enough out of me. So that's it, guys. That was a little brief talk on Moughton English whetstones, which were used for many centuries. If anybody wants a trip to the stream where they're still found up in Yorkshire, pick the stones up for nothing. Pick them up, cut them, shape them. You're laughing, aren't you? Anyway, that'll be for the shave will be for another video. 9 minutes 15 seconds of me is quite enough for anybody. So guys, thanks for watching, and do subscribe if you feel like it. Martin Shave Tests.